Welcome to your exclusive presentation of OABCIG Falcon Athletics on Fuller Digital Solutions.
Fuller Digital Solutions. I'm Caleb Claycamp. This is OABCIG Meet the Team, and I'm here with our first OABCIG Falcon. Who am I speaking with?
I'm Isaac Hofling.
Isaac, how are we doing?
I'm doing pretty good.
Awesome. So kind of for our viewers and listeners who aren't familiar with who you are, kind of start off by introducing yourself. Maybe let's start with how old you are, who your parents are, that sort of thing.
I'm Isaac Hofling. I'm 16 years old. My parents are Mike and Gretchen Hofling.
Gotcha.
And,
so, 16, what does that make you? Are you a sophomore?
Yeah, I'm a sophomore.
Sophomore, gotcha. So, so one of the JV players that kind of suits varsity, I'm assuming, kind of in that role on the team, or do you?
I'll play JV every once in a while, and then I start varsity every game.
Gotcha.
Yep.
And what positions? Tell me a little bit about.
I'm a catcher.
Catcher, gotcha.
Yep.
So that one, I mean, that's kind of a unique position in the fact that obviously only one kind of facing that other way.
Yep.
You have that kind of complete control of the entire field and have to be that kind of source of communication for the entire team.
Mm-hmm.
What are your thoughts on when you play catcher?
I kind of enjoy it. Just makes you feel like you have, obviously everyone relies on you with, like, getting the ball where it's supposed to go, and just it kind of feels like you're kind of the captain out there.
Yeah, absolutely. Talk to me about kind of your batting 375 right now through 9 games, and having a good season so far, and both you individually and the Falcons as a team. As I mentioned, kind of 7-2 to start off the year. So talk to me about your approach kind of when you're at the plate.
Just get on base. I mean, I don't run bases, but I get somebody in. But I mean, I hit pretty good towards the start of the season. Then I hit a little slump, but getting back on it, I hit pretty good last night.
Gotcha. And baseball, of course, is one of those sports where very streaky. You could be doing very, very, well a couple of games and then maybe have a slump like you mentioned for a few games. So nice to see that you're kind of making your way back onto the hot streak. Any goals that you have, either for yourself individually or kind of from a team standpoint that you really like to accomplish?
For myself, I'd like to make first or second team all district and conference.
Yeah.
And then as a team, I'd like to make it back to Kemper.
Yeah. Awesome. Yeah, great goals, and looks like you guys are off to a very good start. Isaac, great to meet you. Thanks for chatting with me, and wish you the best of luck this year.
Thank you.
Thank you. And that was Isaac Hofling, sophomore, and the catcher here for OABCIG. And now we have our next Falcon up to the plate, if you will. Who am I speaking with?
Kade Spots.
All right, Kade, how are you doing?
Good.
Awesome. So first, kind of introduce yourself for our listeners and our viewers who aren't familiar with who you are, your parents, how old you are, that sort of thing.
I'm Kade Spots. I'm a sophomore, and I'm 16 years old. My parents are Jeff and Shelly Spots.
Gotcha. So as a sophomore now on the team, tell me a little bit about the positions you play and kind of what you would consider your role on the squad this year.
I play short, third, pitcher, and then I also play left field.
Gotcha. So kind of Swiss Army knife in a way.
Yeah.
Kind of can do it all. Kind of whatever the team needs, you can step on in and do that. And I know you play other sports as well here for the Falcons. We see you on the football field as well as a lot of other sports. And any goals that you have this year, either kind of for yourself or from a team standpoint, you'd really like to shoot for?
As a team, win conference and hopefully go far in postseason.
Yeah. I mean, you're off to a very, very good start. You're 7-2 overall, 3-1 in the Western Valley. I mean, just your thoughts on kind of what's kind of clicking here for the team early on?
We're playing together better than what we have in the past.
Gotcha.
And feeding off of each other and playing good together.
Gotcha. Awesome. Well, Kade, we wish you the best of luck this year. Thanks for chatting with me, and good luck tonight as well.
Thank you.
Awesome. And that was sophomore Kade Spots. Now, changing of the guard here, we'll get our next Falcon up here. All right, how are you doing, man?
Pretty good.
Awesome. Who am I speaking with?
JJ Parks.
All right, JJ. So kind of introduce yourself, who your parents are, how old you are, that sort of thing to kind of start us off.
I'm JJ Parks. I'm 16 years old. I'm a freshman, and my parents are Laura and JD Parks.
Gotcha. So a freshman on the team this year. Kind of tell me a little bit, were you on the team as an 8th grader as well?
Yep.
Gotcha. So kind of now year 2 up here at the high school level. How's your experience been so far this year on the team?
I'm just playing a little role in the outfield if I need to step in or running bases. So it just changes every game.
Yeah, and I know base running, outfield, so you must have the speed.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit of what do you think your strengths of your game, either if it's in the outfield, on the bases, at bat, kind of your thoughts on that.
Well, I definitely think I have speed, so that helps on the base pass.
Sure.
I could steal pretty easily, and in the field it also helps going after a fly ball. So
Yeah. Any goals for you? I know you're just a freshman, but obviously I'm sure you kind of have an idea of where you want to end up this year, either from kind of an individual standpoint or from a team standpoint.
As a team, of course, the goal is to win conference, but I would like to work on my hitting in JV.
Yeah.
And,
Awesome. Awesome. Well, JJ, I appreciate you sitting down and speaking with me. Best of luck here this year, and best of luck tonight.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks. And that was freshman JJ Parks for OABCIG. And now our next Falcon. And who am I speaking with?
Kaden Spetman.
All right. How are you doing?
Good. You?
Awesome. I'm doing great. So kind of introduce yourself to our viewers and our listeners who don't know who you are. Maybe kind of start with your parents, how old you are, kind of that sort of thing.
I'm Kaden Spetman. I'm 16. I'm a sophomore. My parents are Michael and Heather Spetman.
Gotcha. So sophomore on the team this year. Tell me a little bit about the positions you play out in the field and your roles on defense.
On JV, I play usually center field, and in varsity, I run bases and I pitch.
Gotcha. So talk to me about the pitcher position. Obviously, you're able to get in on varsity a little bit and contribute. Now, do you kind of come in from a starting role, or are you out of the bullpen? What's kind of your role been this year so far?
So far this year, it's been more relieving.
Sure.
I do a lot of starting on JV. Did a lot last year. I have the stamina to go quite a few innings.
Sure.
So.
Gotcha. And really from a pitching standpoint, what do you think is one of your strengths?
Well, I'm pretty good at hitting my spots usually.
Yeah.
If he calls a spot, I can hit it usually.
Gotcha. Awesome. And now talk to me a little bit about when you're not on the mound, you're out there in center field. Now that's a kind of a leadership position within the outfield, if you will. You're kind of got someone to each side and kind of that leader in the outfield. What are your thoughts on when you get to be out there in center field?
Well, I love playing outfield. I enjoy it a lot. It's hard sometimes you have to communicate with everybody. You have to communicate with the outfield, the infield, kind of tell everybody where they're going. And
yeah, absolutely. Well, you guys have had some success this year, obviously 7-2 so far to start things off. So any goals that you have, either for yourself or from a team standpoint, that you're really shooting for this year?
Well, kind of like everybody else said, win conference. That's a high goal. And then make some hay in the state tournament.
There we go. Hey, always a good and you guys obviously successful in various other sports as well. So, Kaden, again, thanks for chatting with me. We wish you the best of luck this year. Of course, best of luck tonight in your game.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you. And again, that was sophomore Kaden Spetman. And now we're going to have our next OABCIG Falcon just kind of in the middle here of some BP getting ready for the game tonight against Kingsley Pearson. It's a makeup game from last Friday, but in here kind of indoors, out of the rain. Not raining right now, but it was here a little bit ago. So now our next Falcon here is, who am I speaking with?
Zach Balder.
Awesome. Zach, how are you doing today?
I'm good.
Awesome. So kind of first, let's introduce yourself to our viewers and listeners who maybe aren't familiar with who you are, your parents, how old you are, that sort of thing.
I'm Zach Balder. I'm a sophomore, 16 years old, and my parents are Nathan and Elizabeth Balder.
Gotcha. So talk to me a little bit about some of the positions you play on the defensive side of the ball.
I pitch sometimes, and then I'm at third base.
Gotcha. So that third base position, now that's one, I was a first baseman. I was glad to be on the opposite side. I don't want anything to do with that hot corner. They call it that for a reason. Ball's coming at you. You got to have that reaction time and that, ability to get those. Are you confident in your ability to do that at third base?
Yeah, I'm pretty confident.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Absolutely. What about the throw across? I mean, same thing. I was like, I don't need to throw across the diamond.
As long as you don't think about it, I think. When you start doubting yourself, then it.
Yeah, when you start thinking about it, maybe start aiming a little bit, that's when you get a little wild. Gotcha. Any goals that you have this year, either for yourself or for the team?
Not really for me. I think just keep hitting better, or get hitting better. But for the team, like everybody else said, you want to make or win conference and keep moving on from there.
Gotcha. And I mean, you guys have been very, very successful this year so far. I mean, 7-2 overall, 3-1 in the Western Valley. So those goals are really within reach.
Yeah.
I mean, what are your thoughts on the good start so far and what you guys have done?
Yeah, I think it's definitely been a really good team effort. I think we just have to keep chugging away at it. Yeah.
Yeah, awesome. Well, I appreciate you speaking with me, Zach, and best of luck tonight in your game and this year. Thank you. And that was sophomore Zach Balder. How's it going?
Good, how are you?
Pretty good. All right, now we're kind of transitioning away from maybe some of the players that play in JV as well. So who am I speaking with?
Bryson Kohler.
Awesome. Bryson, how are you doing?
Good, how are you?
I'm doing great. So tell me a little bit about yourself, maybe for those viewers and listeners who aren't familiar with who you are. Let's start with maybe your parents, how old you are, that sort of thing.
Yeah, so my mom, she's a school nurse here, which is pretty lit. Her name is Tiffany, and my dad, his name is Brady. He lives in Sioux Falls. My mom's married to Shane. He's a farmer. And my dad's about to get married to Julie.
Gotcha.
I'm going to be a senior this coming year. Just turned 18 not too long ago.
Gotcha. So going to be a senior coming up. So this will be, I guess, your junior season in baseball,
Yes.
if you want to say it. Talk to me a little bit about some of the positions you played defensively.
So I didn't get to play the first week because of state track. I went for high jump, which was pretty fun. So I'll be playing third base now. Eventually, or every once in a while, I'll go and pitch. Last night I did. And if our left fielder goes to pitch, I'll go play in left field.
Gotcha. Absolutely. So, I mean, from a defensive standpoint, obviously you're there at the hot corner. Is that a position you're comfortable with and over there in the infield?
Yeah. I like the action I get there. Sometimes it'll either be a bunt where I have to run to it, or it'll be a nice ground ball right to you.
Sure. Gotcha. Talk to me about kind of your offensive side of things. Batting very well here through the first initial parts of the season, 348 so far. So kind of talk to me about your approach when you get in the batter's box.
Just like our coach says, we're like yes, 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 and then we're yes, 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 no. So basically that means like we're going to go hit the ball, and then next thing you know, it breaks under the dirt, so you pull back on it and wait for it. Most of the times, I pull the ball a lot. I'm trying to go center, right field most of the time. So that's just what I'm working on this part of the season now.
Gotcha. Any goals kind of for yourself individually or from a team standpoint that you'd really like to accomplish this year?
Oh, yeah, definitely an individual goal is take one over the fence.
Yeah.
Hopefully
Okay.
that happens soon. I have done it to our coach. I let him know about it too.
Okay, nice.
As a team, I just like to see us succeed. Definitely just getting more comfortable with our fielders, fielding their positions and stuff. And most times when people go up to bat, I have a lot of confidence in them.
Gotcha. Now, talk to me a little bit about kind of the culture here at OABCIG. You guys are very successful in a lot of the sports you do. You just mentioned that, you were at state track and participating in that. Now, obviously 7-2 so far throughout the year and a very, very good start. So, what's kind of your thoughts on what you guys have going here?
Yeah, I think our OABCIG organization is very good. We succeed in most of the sports that we do. We surprisingly didn't bring as many people to state track as we wanted to this year, but I'm hoping we can go pretty deep here in baseball this year.
Gotcha. Absolutely. Well, started off very, very well. Like I said, 7-2, 3-1 in the Western Valley. We wish you the best of luck tonight against
Awesome.
Kingsley Pearson. The
Thank
best
you.
of luck this season. Thanks, Bryson. Appreciate you. And that was junior Bryson Kohler. And now changing the guard here, if you will. We're going to have another Falcon come up in the hot seat. All right, who am I speaking with?
You're speaking with Miles Beck.
Awesome. Miles, tell me a little bit about your role on the team and what positions you play on the infield and outfield, that sort of thing.
I just play second base, and
Gotcha.
I hit the ball.
Gotcha. Awesome. So now maybe for those listeners and those viewers who aren't familiar with who you are, who your parents are, how old you are, that sort of thing.
I'm a senior, and my parents are Brian Beck and Heidi Beck.
Yeah,
So,
awesome.
yeah.
So a senior on the team, obviously one of the upperclassmen, kind of that leadership role. Tell me a little bit about your thoughts on that role you have.
Yeah, it's fun because, you got to be the big guy. Like before when you'd always look up to the bigger kids, now they're looking at you, and it just feels good to be the biggest and the oldest on the team with the most experience.
Gotcha. So talk to me a little bit about your second base position. Obviously, one of the two middle infielders, and obviously, have to have be in constant communication there with your shortstop just to obviously know what's going on. Maybe have good relationship, know what balls you can get to, what balls he can get to, and that sort of thing. What's your thoughts on second base?
Yeah, well, I could pretty much play any of them, but I don't have as good of an arm, and I can't really throw hard, so I play second. But second's really no different than shortstop. You just sometimes you don't get the ball hit to you as much, or you just got to talk to each other, so it's easier so you know what you're doing. I like to command the infield sometimes.
Gotcha.
So.
Talk to me about the start of the season so far. You guys are 7-2 as a team, 3-1 in the Western Valley Conference. What is do you think the reason why you guys are starting so well this year?
We've just been playing good. We scored more than the other team, so we win. And then we've been starting off better than we did last year. We already have more wins. So I think we're just hitting the ball better and we're talking more. We got better team bonding.
Gotcha. Any goals you have either for yourself or from a team standpoint that you really like to accomplish here in your senior year?
Definitely to win conference and, go far in state.
Gotcha.
So.
Awesome. Well, Miles, I appreciate you coming up here and chatting with me.
Yeah,
Best of luck here this
thank
season, and best of luck tonight.
Yep, thanks.
And that was senior Miles Beck. How we doing?
Pretty good.
All right, here. We have our next OABCIG Falcon in the hot seat here. Yeah, get those on. Awesome. All right, who am I speaking with?
Evan Hoffman.
All right, Evan, tell me a little bit, maybe for our viewers and listeners who aren't familiar with who you are, let's start with your parents, how old you are, that sort of thing.
15. My parents are Aaron and Jen.
Gotcha. So 15, would that make you a sophomore on the team, freshman?
I was a freshman this year, so.
Gotcha. So this is your freshman season. So you played as an 8th grade last year. This is now your second season. Tell me a little bit about how that's been. Obviously, now kind of year number 2 here at the high school level. Your thoughts on that?
It's about the same, just a different year.
Gotcha. Yeah, different year, same thing, same sport, same ball, same glove, that sort of thing. Awesome. Talk to me about kind of positions you play on defense.
First, I played a lot of first this year, and I played pitcher a couple times.
Gotcha. So talk to me about that first base position. Now you're a tall guy, you're lengthy. Obviously, I'm sure you can get to some of those balls, up high, down low, that sort of thing. What are your thoughts?
I like it. I get the ball to me a lot, so
yeah.
I like catching it, stretch, catch.
Yeah.
A lot of stuff.
Absolutely. Awesome. Any goals that you have, either for yourself or from a team standpoint this year that you'd really like to accomplish?
Win some more games, get more hits.
Gotcha. Awesome. What do you think is the real strength of your game at first?
Tall, get to everything.
Yeah. I mean, when you're, that tall and you got some long arms, you can reach those balls, definitely. Now, talk to me a little bit about the start so far. You guys so far 7-2 overall, 3-1 in the Western Valley. Now, obviously very successful in a lot of the sports here at OABCIG, but what do you really think so far has been special about this season?
Well, we've played good almost every game. We got up and down lineup we can hit, so.
Gotcha. Kind of strong 1 through 9, maybe a little more than years past.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Awesome. Well, Evan, appreciate you chatting with me. Best of luck here coming up tonight in this season.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you. And again, that was freshman Evan Hoffman. And he is first baseman for OABCIG. And we'll see how many more we have here. How we doing?
Good. How are you?
Good.
Put on the headphones?
Yeah. Come on in. Awesome. Who am I speaking with?
Kelton Ladwig.
Kelton. So tell me a little bit, maybe for our viewers and listeners who aren't familiar with who you are. Let's start with who your parents are, how old you are, that sort of thing.
My parents are Ross and Christy Ladwig, and I am 18.
Gotcha. So are you one of the seniors on the team then? Gotcha. So tell me a little bit about that. Now, obviously, now your senior season, one of the upperclassmen on the team. How has that role been for you?
I mean, good. It's nice being a leader out there on the field.
Gotcha. Now, talk to me about the positions that you play and kind of what your role is at the varsity level.
I play center field, and that's about it.
Gotcha. So that center field position, kind of that leader, commander, the outfield, you have kind of one to either side of you. Talk to me about kind of your thoughts and what you feel like your strengths are defensively out there in center.
Well, I feel like I can see the ball pretty well sometimes. And then, I mean, just speed and knowing what to do in certain situations.
Gotcha. Obviously you have the experience. You're a senior. It's just you had the reps and you know what the balls look like coming off the bat, where they go, and just quicker and that sort of thing. I totally get that. Talk to me about your offensive game and kind of your approach when you get inside the batter's box.
Don't strike out.
Gotcha.
This season has been pretty tough for me.
Gotcha. So
stop doing that.
Gotcha. Anything more specific that you think you really need to, improve on? Obviously, is there something with your swing you're working on mechanically or really approach-wise? Kind of what are your thoughts there?
If I knew the answer, I would have fixed it by now.
I tell you what, I can't argue with that. That's a great answer. So, any goals you have this year, either kind of for yourself individually or from a team standpoint, that you'd really like to accomplish?
Just go out there and keep doing what we're doing.
Yeah.
Be more successful this year.
Yeah. Absolutely. Just like you said, keep doing what you're doing. You guys have been doing very well so far. 7-2 overall, 3-1 in the Western Valley. Talk to me about your thoughts on kind of the start and how that's been possible this year.
Great question.
I mean,
Suck at answering
yeah.
sometimes.
I just think. It's like you guys do a lot of the same sports together, or a lot of different sports together. You and Bryson and everyone else. You guys are in football. You guys are in all the sports together.
Everyone's
it seems.
Together throughout the year doing
everything.
Yeah.
It seems to be you guys never really stop competing. Whether it's you'll maybe switch sport, but you guys are still have that competitive edge kind of year round. Awesome. Well, I appreciate you speaking with me. Best of luck, obviously, here in your senior campaign, and best of luck tonight against Kingsley Pearson.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks for chatting. And that was senior Kelton Ladwig. So we're going to wait here for another Falcon. All righty. And our next OABCIG Falcon up to bat, if you will. Who am I speaking with?
Jax DeJean.
Awesome. Jax, how are we doing today?
Good, how are you?
Good. So, kind of first start off by introducing yourself to our listeners and our viewers who maybe aren't familiar with who you are, how old you are, who your parents are, that sort of thing.
I'm Jax DeJean. I am a freshman at OABCIG. My parents are Kade and Jason DeJean.
Gotcha. Talk to me a little bit about the roles you play on the defensive side of things, kind of your defensive roles.
I play shortstop, and I pitch a little bit, and yeah.
Yeah, gotcha. So obviously shortstop, that's kind of a large role there in the infield, kind of the leader of the infield. Obviously a good spot, get a lot of action there at shortstop. Is that kind of that large of a workload? Is that something you're comfortable with?
Yeah, I played it growing up my whole life. I've played baseball, so kind of used to it.
Gotcha. And now, obviously, just a freshman this year, so talk to me a little bit about how that's been. As a freshman kind of coming in and doing as well as you've done, how has that kind of been?
I have a little experience. I played in 8th grade, so experience coming in definitely helps.
Yeah, gotcha. Now, talk to me a little bit about the pitching. Obviously, you do get the opportunity to, get the call on the bump every once in a while. Kind of your thoughts on, is it a start? Is it in relief? Kind of what do your opportunities look like so far this year?
This year, mostly, I've been coming in relief, just trying to close the game down and take the win home.
Gotcha. And what are your thoughts on when you do have to come out of the bullpen? Sometimes as a reliever, sometimes you can kind of get handed a sticky situation, whether there's runners on base, scoring position, and whatever the case may be. So what are your thoughts on if you have to come in the maybe not most ideal situation?
Yeah. I kind of just focus on the batter. Just obviously, I want to keep the runner in check, but try to get the outs and get the bats going again.
Gotcha. And bats have been going so far this year, and especially for you. You're batting .545, so one of the leading batting averages on the team. Tell me a little bit about kind of your approach when you step foot in the box and, kind of, I don't know, what you feel like is attributed to the success so far this year for you.
I feel like I just hunt strikes early, just try not to get in a tough situation, just swing early in the count.
Sure, and that's pitchers trying to get ahead of you. They're trying to throw strikes there initially, so sometimes those are some of the best ones to hit. So I'm sure that's been a great approach from you, and it shows definitely on the stats so far. So, Jax, any goals that you have, either for yourself or from a team standpoint, that you'd really like to accomplish?
Just continue to win baseball games.
Yeah. Absolutely. Awesome. Well, Jax, I appreciate you speaking with me.
Yeah,
best of luck here against Kingsley Pearson tonight, and best of luck this year.
Thank you.
Awesome. And that was freshman Jax DeJean, and the shortstop for the OABCIG Falcons. And while he exits here, we're going to wait for the next Falcon up to bat as the Kingsley Pearson Panthers have arrived as they're going to their dugout. All righty, and who am I speaking with? All good, no worries. Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you.
Of course. Alrighty, who am I speaking with?
Bodie Hansen.
Bodie. So, tell me a little bit about, first off, introduce yourself to our viewers and our listeners who aren't familiar with who you are, maybe your parents, how old you are, that sort of thing.
I'm Bodie Hansen. I'm a junior. My parents are Chris and Paige Hansen.
Gotcha. So, Bodie, tell me a little bit first about what we have going on here with the arm.
So, yeah, I got a scaphoid fracture in my wrist that I didn't know about. It had been broken for like 4 months. So I played the first 2 games of the season with it, and I did fine. I started off pretty hot, batting-wise, but yeah, it's just unfortunate. So I'm out for the rest of the season.
Gotcha. Rest of the season. And is this something that, obviously, hopefully, we know that you play other sports as well here at OABCIG and football as well. Is this something that's going to be okay by the fall?
Yeah, I'll be good by football season.
Awesome. Great to hear. Now, let's talk about baseball. Obviously, kind of a sour part of the season for you, but I really want your thoughts on kind of from a team perspective. You guys have started very, very good this year. I mean, 7-2 overall, 3-1 in the Western Valley. So kind of your thoughts on how that's been possible.
Yeah, like you said, I think we're pretty hot right now. We started off hot, first 2 games, 10-run rules. I think like we can be really dominant if we just focus. Like we're this close to being just that dominant.
Gotcha. And talk to me a little bit about head coach Tyler Johnson. Obviously, he's doing a great job here so far, and that record reflects it. So talk to me a little bit about how he's been as a coach throughout your time here at OABCIG.
Yeah, he's been great. He really makes sure that we get everything done fundamentally wise, and like if we're struggling with something like high pitches, we'll work on high tees to like fix that. He's really good at that.
Gotcha. And I mean, have you guys as a team really had any conversations as far as any goals that you have this year, or really anything that you guys are really shooting for?
Our goal is just to win the last one.
Sure.
No matter what it is, just win the last one.
Yeah, absolutely. Awesome. Well, we obviously wish you the best of luck here in recovery, and we'll see you back here on the football field when it comes fall, I'm sure. But thanks for chatting with me, Bodie. I appreciate you. Alrighty, that was Bodie Hansen, the junior. And it looks like they're going to get the game in here, I think. So we'll just have to see. Alrighty, and the next OABCIG Falcon up here to bat, if you will. Who am I speaking with?
This is Miles Chzn.
Miles, how we doing?
Good.
Good. So, kind of introduce yourself for our viewers and our listeners who aren't familiar with who you are. Let's start with maybe who your parents are, how old you are, that sort of thing.
All right. My name is Miles Chzn. My mom is Jennifer, and my dad is Adrian Chzn. I'm a junior right now. I'm 17, and yeah.
Gotcha. Awesome. A junior on the squad this year. Tell me a little bit about your role on the defensive side of things and kind of where you play a part in that.
I'm usually playing third, or they have me pitching games right now, so yeah.
Gotcha. So let's start out with the third base position. Tell me a little bit about that. I mean, when you do get the opportunity to play that hot corner, is that a place you're comfortable with? I mean, to me, that's a lot of balls get hit to third base and shortstop. It's a very high volume, high workload position. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I've played there ever since I started playing tournament ball. It's always been my favorite position other than pitching, and yeah, I've always had fun there. I like the hot corner. It keeps me on my feet. And yeah.
Absolutely. So now tell me about the pitching position. You've had some great success so far this year. I mean, so far you have 22 strikeouts, in 3 appearances. You're 3-0 for your record. I mean, opponent batting average is 109 against you. Kind of, what are your thoughts on the bump?
Yeah, I've just kind of upped my game a little bit, I would say, this year. Just kind of practicing a little bit more, getting my pitches working, throwing a little harder this year, which is always good, and yeah, just try and put the ball past them.
Gotcha. Give me kind of a breakdown of the pitches you throw, kind of what your primary, your go-to, and then any off-speed that you throw, and kind of what your approach is in that regards.
Yeah, I usually am throwing a 2-seam fastball. It has a little tail off to the end. My changeup is probably my next go-to, or my 4-seam fastball. And then my my slider is my third pitch. So yeah.
Gotcha. I'm sure that slider changeup kind of keeps the batters off balance
Yeah.
a little bit. And obviously, as we've seen here in the stat book, forcing a lot of strikeouts as well. Now talk to me offensively. You are kind of, along with Jax DeJean, you guys are kind of the two hot bats right now in the season. He's at 545. You're at 524 so far this season. So tell me a little bit about your approach when you get up to bat.
I just try to relax. That's the biggest thing you can do is just relax and have fun, really. Don't take anything too personally, and you'll always get another chance at bat. So
yeah,
there's always another time.
Absolutely, and especially it looks like, being a pitcher, obviously with that mindset at bat, very good at kind of wiping away, kind of move on to the next one, whether it's a strikeout, a bad pitch, that sort of thing, kind of able to kind of reset and in that regards,
Yeah,
I'm sure.
yeah.
Now, tell me a little bit about any goals that you have, either for yourself or from a team standpoint this year that you'd really like to accomplish.
I just try and do the best I can for the team. Hoping to win a little bit more games than last year. It was a little rocky, but other than that, yeah, just win games and be a part of the team.
Yeah, and you guys have one game so far. Obviously, you guys are 7-2 to start the season overall, and 3-1 in the Western Valley. So, give me your thoughts on kind of this hot start from you guys, and why do you think that's kind of been possible this year?
I think we're just playing some of the best baseball we can. There's always room for improvement, but I think we're just playing as a team and having our spirits high right now. So.
Gotcha. Awesome. Well, Miles, thanks for chatting with me. Wish you the best of luck tonight and the best of luck this season.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you. And that was Miles Chzn. And we'll see here if there's any more Falcons. Alrighty. All right, and we have our next OABCIG Falcon in the hot seat. Who am I speaking with?
Andrew Parks.
Andrew, how are we doing today?
I'm doing pretty good.
Awesome.
Good
So,
day.
awesome. So, tell me a little bit for our viewers and listeners who aren't familiar with who you are. Kind of, your parents, how old you are, that sort of thing.
My parents are Justin and Laura Parks. I'm 17 years old and a junior in high school.
Gotcha. So, tell me a little bit about some of the positions you play on defense.
I play. Well, I guess previous years I'd played center field and left field, but this year I'm starting in right field. And last year I played second base for a few games because our second baseman was out. Not the position I preferred, and wasn't the greatest at it, but got through. But now I play right field. That's my main position.
So talk to me a little bit about that right field position. Now, that one's kind of unique. It seems to me when you're kind of in Little League, no one wants to play right field. You kind of get thrown out there in right field. But really at the high school level, it's having a good right fielder is kind of invaluable, especially to combine if you have maybe a good pitcher. A lot of those right-handed batters, especially if a pitcher can throw good fastballs and good fast speed, a lot of those balls are coming to right field. So tell me a little bit about your thoughts kind of on defense there.
Yeah, right field's kind of always been stereotypical for being the worst player on the team, but that's not really how it is, because especially when you got a guy that throws decently hard, the ball kind of is coming off the bats later, but then it has that little tail to it, so you got to be able to do that, and especially right field and left field, you always got to worry about fly balls. You got to worry about the fence and just kind of that. And then you always got to communicate with center field. So it's just kind of it's a different position than playing center field for sure, playing right field.
Gotcha. And right field also one of those unique positions where obviously as an outfielder, like to back up every position, but especially right field is a big one because you're backing up first base. So obviously a good right fielder, and that was one thing. I played first base, and that was always one thing where my right fielder, it was any time I missed one, it was like he was there, and I was like, you have no idea how many runs that he saved just doing that simple thing. And it's one of those things where maybe 9 times out of 10 you go to back up and you don't do anything. They get they get the, but it is that one time that it does happen, you're there. So kind of your thoughts on that.
Yeah, it's honestly it's kind of an important part of the game because all those pickoffs, you're always hustling, and then it seems like it's not really worth it because you're not doing it, but then the one time it gets through and you're there, it's different from having a guy on first, having a guy on second, because second's considered scoring position.
Sure.
And then so it's honestly really important as a right fielder to be over there. And if you hit a back pick from the catcher, sometimes that can be wild, and you always just got to be over there. You just got to do your part. Sometimes it's a little bit different than catching a fly ball or keeping someone from scoring, you just got to – there's different parts of being an outfielder other than just catching a fly ball.
Absolutely. Now, talk to me a little bit about kind of on the offensive side of things when you're up to bat. Now, you're doing very well this year so far. You have an average of 360, so, very good in baseball standards. So, kind of what are your thoughts on your success so far?
I mean, I did really good at the beginning of the year. I'm starting to kind of get into a slump, but I'm hoping to come out of it this game. And then my thoughts are I just take it one game at a time. I just look at the pitcher, understand how he's trying to attack, and I think you just got to be able to know the strike zone too. If you're swinging at pitches that aren't in the strike zone, you don't ever want to go down to the count because it's a lot harder. So my hope is to not get down to the count, and that's how I thought I've succeeded for the most part.
Gotcha. They always say kind of don't help the pitcher. Don't kind of chase pitches or kind of swing it stuff out of the zone, the high cheese, low cheese, whatever they call it. I mean, just kind of stay consistent. So now any goals that you have, either for yourself individually or from a team standpoint that you'd really like to accomplish this year?
I'd really just like to have my on-base percentage be higher, and I want to keep my strikeout numbers down because if you have high strikeout numbers, you're not even giving yourself a chance to get on. And if you make contact with it, then you can get on, and no matter how you get on, if your on-base percentage is high, it doesn't matter how you get on, you're just getting on.
Gotcha.
So I'd like to have that be pretty decent.
Gotcha. Exactly right. I mean, like you couldn't have said that better myself. Even if it's a tapper to the pitcher, it's better than the strikeout. So awesome. Now talk to me about the success you guys have had this year. Starting 7-2 overall, you're 3-1 in the Western Valley. I mean, what's kind of been different this season to have the success that you guys have seen so far?
The mindset of people. I know we had a rough season last year, and some people came in thinking, oh, well, we didn't really lose many starters. We're probably going to be the same as last year. But we're just getting better. We're getting more into the feel. I mean, we were kind of young last year, so we just got into the feel of people. And then I think we just keep on going. We practice hard at practice, so we just get used to playing with each other. I think we're starting to really come together.
Gotcha. And, I mean, that in my view is almost a strength, not losing any seniors or not, kind of returning all of the same pieces that you had last year, even if the puzzle wasn't quite put together back then. That's super, super valuable this year. So awesome. Andrew, thanks for chatting with me, and we appreciate you. Best of luck tonight.
Thank you.
And that was junior Andrew Parks. So we'll see here if there's any more Falcons left. All right. How we doing? Awesome. Awesome, Trenton. Have a seat. So, awesome. Trenton, awesome.
Yeah.
Great to meet you. So, kind of introduce yourself to our viewers and listeners who aren't familiar with yourself.
Okay, so I'm Trenton, obviously. So my parents are for Jeff and Christy. I play on the bump and at first, and that's
Gotcha.
what I do.
So, obviously a senior on the team at first base. So tell me a little bit about that. I mean, obviously a leadership role as a senior and your thoughts on that.
Yeah, so I think this year it's been new because I think we lost like 6 starters or something like that from last year. So it's a new team, it's a young team, and it's been fun so far.
Yeah, awesome.
So I've been a huge fan of this year.
Awesome.
So far.
Tell me about when you do play first base, what do you really think your strengths are? I mean, you're a tall guy, you got long arms. I mean, obviously that's one, but kind of your thoughts.
I'm able to stretch out, I'd say. And then for up at the plate, I mean, I get on base pretty much, and that's that's
absolutely
all I do.
Yeah,
So.
get on base and have a great average as well, hitting 364 so far this year. So, and obviously from a team standpoint, very successful as well. You're 7-2 overall, 3-1 in the Western Valley. So, what's kind of your thoughts this year as to the early success?
It's been good. It's been good. Our first couple of games were great. I thought we won by was it 10 in our first 2 games or something like that? So I thought that was good. Offensively, I think we're a lot better.
Yeah.
A lot better than last year. And
Gotcha. Awesome. Any goals that you have, either for yourself or from a team standpoint this year?
Well, I'm going to try to win tonight.
Awesome.
Obviously, at first, and then I think we're going to try to win conference, and then after that,
Perfect.
We'll see what happens.
Awesome. See how far you can go. Well, Trenton, thanks for chatting with me. Best of luck tonight, and best of luck this season.
Thank you.
And that was Trenton Gilbert. He is the senior first baseman for OABCIG, and we'll see if there's any more Falcons here left to go. All righty. All right, so we have Coach coming up here. All right, Coach. We done with the players?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Awesome. So here with head coach Tyler Johnson. Coach, how are we doing today?
Good. Doing real
Good. So talk to me a little bit about the season so far. Obviously, you guys have had some early success. You're 7-2 overall, 3-1 in the Western Valley. Kind of tell me a little bit about your thoughts early on in the season.
Sure. Preparation really starts way before May even begins. The beginning of January, getting in the gym and getting our work in there. We've had a strong group of guys. Really committed to doing that, and what we're seeing is the fruits of their labor. I mean, they come in very steadily throughout the winter and put the work in. Now that work is paying off.
Gotcha. And kind of the general consensus, at least in my opinion, from the boys when I was talking to them, is kind of a lot better this year than maybe last year. So tell me your thoughts in regards to kind of the improvement and the hot start.
Sure. It's all about. At this level in particular, it's all about fundamentals. Just really emphasizing that and taking it a little bit more serious. This is something I implemented 3 years ago as a head coach when I started, and I just think it's taken a little bit of time, but I think it's finally starting to sink in. Seeing the, again, just the fruits of that labor kind of paying off.
Gotcha, and paying off indeed. Like you mentioned, 7-2, and obviously a lot of kids as well. Kind of very strong batting averages. You guys have 2 in Jax DeJean and Miles Chzn batting over 500 right now, and lighting up the bats. You guys are winning 4 straight. The last 3 of 4, you guys have double-digit runs. So, talk to me kind of the offensive approach of the Falcons and the philosophy from a coaching standpoint.
Well, it goes back to something I learned as just a youngster myself. I forget the guy's name. Came in from USA Baseball, and talked about that yes, no approach, or yes approach. Looking to hit every pitch out of the pitcher's hand until you see that it's going to be a ball, and then stopping yourself. So we got to be ready to hit every pitch, whenever it's thrown. Something again we started emphasizing, and some guys in particular, buying in. And jumping all over even a lot of the first pitches that we see.
Gotcha. And kind of, like you mentioned, yes, and then either yes or no, kind of, don't be late on a fastball, react to the breaking ball and that sort of thing, and obviously paying off from an offensive standpoint. Talk to me a little bit now on the defensive side of things. Now, to me, you have a couple of really good pitchers so far, kind of starting things off, and their undefeated records with Chzn being one, and spacing on the other one's name right now here, it looks like. Kohler, Bryson. Bryson and Miles. So, Bryson's 2-0, Miles is 3-0, and obviously a good pitcher between them. So, your thoughts on that?
Yeah. Coming into the season, as a coaching staff, we talked a lot about, we're going to have to outslug our opponents, and so far so good on that account. But we've had a couple of really breakout guys, as far as throwing the ball over the plate, and that's the difference in this game. High school level guys are going to get their hits. Do you put anybody on by walking them or plunking them before they get those hits? And that's what usually ends up to putting up a lot of runs in a short amount of time. So by being able to throw strikes, Chzn a little bit more than Kohler, pinpointing spots with a couple of different pitches. He really has been a really sweet addition to this team.
Yeah, and now it seems to me that kind of from the standpoint of those two pitchers, they're, like you mentioned, kind of a little different. Chzn, like you said, he kind of has more strikeouts. He's struck out 22 so far this year, kind of maybe more location, able to pinpoint different pitches. And kind of Kohler, on the other hand, to me, is maybe one of those. He's allowed 13 hits, but one of those that kind of pitches to contact, allows the defense to work behind him. Kind of your thoughts on the differences between those two.
Yeah, again, at this level, when he can pinpoint pitches, number one, we talk about how important that is. We're working ahead of hitters. Just as a pitching staff in general. But when, and Chz's able to do it with, like I said, a couple of different pitches that he's able to pinpoint different spots, really keeping guys off balance, keeping them second guessing. They can't just dial in on a fastball. As far as Bryson is concerned, he likes to tightrope his way out of danger every now and again.
Sure.
Kind of was giving him a hard time last night a lot about that. But when it was all said and done, only gave up 1 run. Now I'd like to see the pitch count overall tick down with fewer walks and putting them, and really just pitching to contact. We got a solid defense behind us. Talk to them all the time. You can throw 3 strikes and get it out, or you can throw 1 strike or get it out. So
sure.
It's just all about that friendly sort of economics.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, talk to me a little bit about your schedule. Now, obviously, you guys are 7-2, started off very hot, 3-0, then lost 2 to some very, very good teams in Woodbury Central and Akron Westfield, but now kind of 4 straight and looking to continue even tonight. And like I said, to me, it's not like you're winning these games 10-9 or 10-8. I mean, the scores I'm seeing 10-0, 14-2. 16-6, 16-8, 10-0. So, kind of your thoughts on what you've kind of seen, and then kind of what you have coming up next.
Yeah. Obviously, a couple of really good teams in there that we lost to. I think last time I looked, Akron sitting at 2 or 3, depending on the poll you look at in 1A. Woodbury Central is always very, very tough in this conference. Andy Compton over there does a tremendous job of coaching his guys up year in and year out. This will be a really great measuring stick for us tonight here against a really, really good Kingsley Pearson team as well. Not trying to look forward to anything else. We're just always concerned about trying to get out of the first inning.
Gotcha.
Thank you for watching this exclusive broadcast on Fuller Digital Solutions. To receive notifications and links about your favorite team's live streams, join our text club by scanning this QR code or text the word on the screen to the number shown. If your business would like to be a sponsor on broadcasts like this, please reach out to us at fullerdigitalsolutions@gmail.com. Join us all year long for coverage of your favorite team on Fuller Digital Solutions.